All right, we are live. How's it going, everybody? This is Robert One Kenobi bringing you my second predictions live stream of this Royal Rumble weekend. And in this video, I will be giving you my predictions for WWE Royal Rumble 2019, which of course is live tomorrow night on the WWE Network. This is, of course, a 4-hour pay-per-view because it is both Raw and SmackDown. And this is a pay-per-view that is fitting the 4 hours. For the most part, guys, I am very excited for tomorrow night's Royal Rumble show because when you look at this card, it is a strong card. And if all these matches deliver, if we get a lot of good to great matches throughout this, throughout this show tomorrow night, this could be one of the better Royal Rumble events of recent years. And this is the last Royal Rumble event of the 2010. So what a way WWE could end that little run by having a great Royal Rumble show. Like I said, this is a strong card, a lot of good to great matches with potential to deliver, and I'm just very excited. Of course, the Royal Rumble matches, and then you have 2 world title matches and 2 women's title matches, which are WrestleMania caliber matches come early. I'm just very excited for the show overall. And with this predictions video, guys, I'm really hoping not to botch a lot. Like if you guys saw the rust I had when I did my NXT TakeOver Phoenix predictions live stream yesterday. Real quick, for those of you that might have seen the very first original event I created yesterday, it was supposed to be a joint predictions video. It was going to be me and Tommy CB, who you guys might remember from a couple live streams I did with him back in 2016. We were going to predict both shows together, but again, our Google Hangouts programs, particularly mine, were giving us problems. We couldn't join forces together, so I ended up doing 2 separate streams. So I have the NXT Phoenix predictions video, which if you guys haven't had a chance to see that, go check it out before the show airs live at 4 o'clock today. And let's get right down to it with my Royal Rumble 2019 predictions. So I'm going to take a quick count real quick. We have 9 matches on this card, 2 on the kickoff show, of course, and then 7 on the main card. So let's start with the kickoff show. First up, we have Rusev defending the United States Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. I really don't see Rusev losing the United States Championship. He just won it from Nakamura recently, so I don't really see him dropping the title. If he drops the title to anybody, I think it's going to be Andrade Cien Almas, and yes, I'm calling him Andrade Cien Almas. I don't know why they dropped the Cien Almas from his name, and he's now just Andrade. I mean, Neville, Cesaro, and now Andrade. Like, come on, but that's another topic for a different day. But yeah, I don't see Rusev losing the United States Championship to Nakamura. I think he will retain, and he'll eventually drop it to Andrade Cien Almas, who does have more wins over Rusev, going back to their feud in the summer. So this does have potential to be a good match. Nakamura, I do like the more vicious side of Nakamura we've seen since he lost the title to Rusev. The assault on Rusev, what happened to Lana, and then the backstage assault on Rusev. Like, that was the Shinsuke Nakamura we should have gotten when he turned heel. That's, better booking for him, but, a little, too little too late. But anyway, like I said, I'm picking Rusev to retain the United States Championship. The only way I see Nakamura winning it is if Nakamura goes full-fledged sadistic heel, similar to what I predicted with Cassius Ohno and Matt Riddle, to where Nakamura just violently assaults Rusev throughout the match, like one Kinshasa after another Kinshasa after another Kinshasa, to the point where Lana has to like get in the ring and just protect and defend Rusev and stop Nakamura from inflicting any more harm to her husband. Like, I'm not necessarily saying throw in the towel, but just that, and then the referee has to stop it due to like a knockout or something. That's the only way I see Nakamura winning, which I think if that's the heel he becomes, that could save whatever's left of his career in the main roster. But other than that, I'm picking Rusev to retain the United States Championship. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the Cruiserweight Championship. Cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy defending against Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami. I don't see Buddy Murphy dropping the Cruiserweight Championship. He's doing a fine job as Cruiserweight champion, so I'm predicting he will retain the championship. This is going to be a fun Cruiserweight showcase. It's different Cruiserweights getting the spot to shine here on this pay-per-view in Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami. And if I'm correct, I don't think Hideo Itami, since arriving on the main roster, has had a pay-per-view match. correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's had a pay-per-view match. He's the only pay-per-view he ever competed on the main roster was WrestleMania 31 in the Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever had a pay-per-view match. So I'm excited that Hideo Itami's finally getting a pay-per-view match. Of course, Tozawa's been on pay-per-view before against Neville. Kalisto, of course, is a pay-per-view veteran. So this will be a good, fun Cruiserweight match. I'm looking forward to it. 4 great talents, but in the end, I picked Buddy Murphy to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, moving on to the main card, we have for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Bar, defending against The Miz and Shane McMahon. As much as I love The Miz and Shane McMahon, I am not a fan of this partnership because it is just so random. It spawned at the freaking finals of the World Cup at Crown Jewel, where freaking Shane McMahon took the place of The Miz, who was injured and was supposed to face Dolph Ziggler in the finals, and then Shane won the match and was crowned best in the world, and now Miz has been wanting to be his partner ever since, be his bestie. I just don't like this program because what it's most likely leading to, and I don't want to see this, is The Miz versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 35. Why is The Miz not in the Royal Rumble match? Why is he not pursuing the WWE Championship? Why is he not going after Daniel Bryan, even though it would be weird seeing a face Miz and a heel Daniel Bryan feud for the championship when it should be the other way around? I just don't like this feud. I don't like this partnership. I don't like what this has led to. So I'm going to pick The Bar to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Like, eventually, like, I don't want to see Miz versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. I really like, why is The Miz not in the Royal Rumble match going after the WWE Championship? That's all I'm going to say, okay? I don't want Shane versus Miz at Mania 35. So the less I say about it, the better. But I'm picking The Bar to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Next on my list, I have the WWE Championship match. We're going to do things a little differently. Pretty surprising I'm talking about the WWE Championship match so early, but it's because of what I have to say about the next 3 matches, because how they all tie into each other. So, WWE Championship match, the new Daniel Bryan defending the WWE Championship against the real AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan has been killing it as of late as a heel, as the WWE champion. He is just cutting great promo after great promo. I love the promo he did in the by the concession stands, taking the hot dog from the guy, throwing it at the guy, taking a soda from a fan and throwing it in his face. Like, that has been great. You know, I think a lot of people were surprised that Daniel Bryan turned heel and beat AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, how he did. And I think a lot of people just don't want to boo Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan is giving you a reason to boo him with his fantastic heel work so far. I love how he's this conservative. Yeah, I believe the word's conservative, right? He's this conservative WWE champion. You know, he wants to be a true hero for the WWE universe. He wants to, I guess you could say he's trying to do what Drew Gulak is trying to do for a better WWE universe and whatnot. I love how he's this, you know, he's this, not an anti-hero, but I love this heel turn, you know. Like, I was surprised how he won the WWE Championship, but he's really embraced this heel persona and he's made it work. I mean, I just literally watched 2 interviews he did in Phoenix to promote the Royal Rumble, and he was in his heel gimmick and he just killed it. Like, Daniel Bryan, the new Daniel Bryan, is awesome. So I really would have preferred this match be like a Falls Count Anywhere match or a no disqualification match, or maybe even a best 2 out of 3 falls. I've loved some of the brawls him and AJ Styles have had recently. But in the end, I don't see AJ Styles retaining or regaining the WWE Championship. You know, Vince McMahon wanted this real AJ Styles to come out, and when AJ clocked Vince, like, I found that so awkward and weird, and I was like, oh God, don't tell me it's leading to AJ Styles versus Vince McMahon at Mania or something in that capacity. But, you know, AJ Styles is, you know, just himself, but he has shown a little bit more of an aggressive side. So it's going to be, I still think it's going to be a great match. I really enjoyed their match at TLC. But I don't think AJ Styles is going to win the WWE Championship. Now, I think what may lead to him losing the WWE Championship match, what may lead him to losing, is possible interference from Randy Orton. maybe Randy Orton interferes and goes and targets AJ Styles, and they start building to a WrestleMania match. But what I thought was going to happen before this guy, you know, his future was up in the air, was because they had been promoting Lars Sullivan for such a long time. I thought Lars Sullivan was going to show up in the match, and he was going to attack AJ and target AJ, and then they could do AJ Styles versus Lars Sullivan at WrestleMania 35, and that could be like the big launching point, so to speak, for Lars Sullivan. But if Orton may interfere, I'm not counting on it, but he may interfere. But either way, I'm picking AJ Styles. I'm picking Daniel Bryan, excuse me, to retain the WWE Championship. Now, before I go to the next 3 matches on this list, I want to give a shout out to my lovely homegirl, Lauren Hutton, who's in the live chat right now. So, Lauren, thanks for joining me, love. So she says, these are all her comments. If I get a different comment, I will acknowledge who writes it. But Lauren says, I want to see Andrade versus Nakamura versus Shinsuke versus Mysterio for the U.S. title. So I think she meant a triple threat because she wrote Nakamura then Shinsuke. So she says, okay, so she wants to see a triple threat at the Rumble or at Mania, because this is Mania tomorrow. Or maybe you wanted to see that for the title. She's saying she wanted to see it. That's what I get. Okay, I got it. I took it in the present tense, but no, she wanted to see that happen at the Rumble. Nakamura, Andrade, and Rey for the United States Championship. Did you hear Ronda may leave after WrestleMania 35? Yeah, I did hear that, but I don't think she's leaving WWE permanently. I think she's taking time off to start a family with Travis Brown. That's what I heard. So I need to actually read more of the news that broke, but I'll definitely check that out. To be honest, Rusev's face turn was a little too late. Should have happened earlier in the year. It should have happened after he lost to John Cena, or either after he lost to John Cena, or after he left the League of Nations, or the latest when Jinder Mahal was the WWE champion. You know, enough said. Cruiserweight match should not be on the kickoff show. I do agree. I'm not a fan of the kickoff show because I'm still going to watch the kickoff show tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm going to end up watching 6 hours of WWE. But I don't like the kickoff show. If they want a kickoff show, just do a 30-minute kickoff show like NXT and have all the main matches, of course, on the main card. So, do you think Orton turned babyface on SmackDown Live after he RKO'd Joe? I don't think he necessarily turned face because he's doing a great job as a heel. I think that was just his way of saying he's coming to win Rumble number 3. And that was a great way for Orton to return because, like you said, Lauren, he had not been on the show for 2 or 3 weeks. So that was the perfect way for him to return with an RKO, a legit RKO out of nowhere on Samoa Joe. So I don't think he turned face. I just think he sent a statement to everyone in the Rumble that he's coming to win. And that you all need to fear the 3 most dangerous letters in the WWE, RKO. Miz and Shane versus The Bar should have been on the kickoff show. I still think we're going to get Shane versus Miz at Mania 35, and I think Shane will be the heel. Yeah, I agree that should have been on the kickoff show, but I don't want to see Shane as a heel, and I don't want to see Shane versus Miz at Mania, so enough said. Miz should have won the WWE title a while ago, in my honest opinion. I don't think The Miz will ever be a good babyface. It flopped in 2013. He's so much better as a heel. Yeah, he is much better as a heel than as a face. I remember when he was a face feuding with Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship, and that, I mean, he won the title and then dropped it the next night after WrestleMania 30 or 29. So I don't understand what was the purpose of that. I was surprised when Daniel Bryan turned because it was the most unexpected heel turn. Others were predictable. Yeah, it was very unexpected and unpredictable because we honestly did not expect him to turn heel the way he did. So he's been really making the best of this heel turn. He's killing it. I love to see Bryan versus Orton, Bryan versus Cena, Bryan versus Rollins, Styles versus Orton versus Bryan, even Bryan versus Miz. Bryan versus Cena, yes, because we haven't had a rematch between those guys since SummerSlam. And I seriously thought after what happened with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, I thought Daniel Bryan would defend the championship against John Cena, and AJ would compete in the Rumble to try to get a title shot. So I definitely want to see that. And I definitely want to see Bryan versus Rollins. And I definitely want to see Styles versus Orton before it's too late. McMahon said change was coming. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I totally agree. Did you hear WWE maybe ending the brand split? No, I did not. Do you think we're still going to get Lars versus Cena or Drew versus Cena at Mania 35? If Lars Sullivan is still unhealthy to compete, I'm predicting Drew McIntyre versus John Cena, which I think would be great. That'd be a huge win for McIntyre, a huge push and whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna do it that way. I say Cena and McIntyre at 35. I hope Gargano and Ciampa go to the main roster. Yeah, but they better be booked properly. I'm not getting my hopes up high on how they'll book them. Orton could attack Styles or maybe possibly Bryan. He's in the Rumble though. Yeah, like I said, I'm not expecting it, but it was something you did predict. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. Did you hear rumors that WWE advertised Cena purposely to promote the Rumble? They say he's injured, but I think it's because he's filming a new movie. Then why return? I agree. Why waste his return if it was just to take him out of the Rumble so he can go film a movie? I don't understand that. That's like false advertisement, so I don't get it, you know. Or more of a tweener. Shane hasn't been heel since 2007. Yeah, when McMahon's were feuding with Bobby Lashley. Did you see Roman is filming the new Fast and Furious with The Rock? Yes, I think that's really cool that Roman's going to share the screen with his family. Joe versus Orton, Joe versus Cena. I definitely like to see both of those. Rumors are WWE may turn Andrade face. Okay, we'll see how that works. I think he's better off as a heel, but you never know. Batista returning, maybe. I'll talk about that when I get to the Royal Rumble match. Triple H is cleared, and where's Jeff Hardy been? Well, I think he said he's been off for 3 weeks, so he was at Access last night because I have friends who met him. So he'll be in a Rumble match. We'll just see. I'll talk a little more about Jeff Hardy when I get to the Rumble matches. So thanks for your comments, Lauren. There's one more that I'll acknowledge when I get to a certain match, but let's continue with my predictions. Now, the next 3 matches I'm about to predict all tie into each other, just like how the matches from how the double main event from NXT TakeOver Phoenix pretty much ties into each other. So we have for the Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey defending against Sasha Banks. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, Asuka defending against Becky Lynch, and for the women's Royal Rumble match, excuse me. First up, Ronda and Sasha. I'm very excited for this match because Sasha Banks has been long overdue for a title shot since Elimination Chamber. Long overdue. And it's a damn shame that Sasha Banks has been so underutilized in 2018, how she's not receiving the proper booking. So I'm happy she's finally getting this shot at the Raw Women's Championship. Now, do I think she's going to win is the question. WWE could throw a curveball at us and have Sasha Banks win the Raw Women's Championship from Ronda Rousey. But, of course, we want to see Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35. And here's the question. Does the title need to be on the line for this to be a major main event? You know, not necessarily. But when you look at Becky Lynch and she wants retribution, you know, what better retribution would there be than to challenge Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship and take the title from her? And if WrestleMania 35 is going to be Ronda's last match for a little while, what a send-off, so to speak, in Becky's eyes. So, as far as the Raw Women's Championship match is concerned, I'm going to say Ronda Rousey retains the championship. There could be a chance that Sasha Banks wins the championship. But really the way I'm seeing it, like if Ronda's going to suffer her first big pay-per-view loss, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she got pinned or Sasha made her submit on Raw. I'm not sure. I think she lost on Raw in that tag match with Natty and Bayley. But I think they're going to save her first big pay-per-view loss for Mania. So I'm predicting Ronda Rousey will retain the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks. Now, the SmackDown Women's Championship match, I like the build to this because there's a lot on the line for both women. And you know what? There's also a lot on the line for Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks. For Sasha, she wants that title. She wants to be the Raw Women's Champion once again. She is sick and tired of being, you know, thought of as an afterthought. And Ronda Rousey has has much to prove because she's been on a roll as Raw Women's Champion. She's been on a roll since she debuted in WWE, and she wants to keep that roll going. She doesn't want to be seen as a fake, a fluke, and I'm not saying anything she's achieved is a fake or a fluke. But when you look at it, you know, Sasha Banks, you know, she's questioning Ronda's heart, her passion, and Sasha Banks has a lot to prove, and Ronda Rousey has a lot to prove. So that's why I love the stakes in that match. And the stakes are the same for Asuka versus Becky Lynch. Asuka has a lot to prove. After a very downward spiral in 2018, after losing her undefeated streak to Charlotte at WrestleMania and losing back-to-back against Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Asuka, now as SmackDown Women's Champion, has a lot to prove. Does she still have that same fire she had back in NXT that made her the NXT Women's Champion, the undefeated NXT Women's Champion for I don't remember how many days, but it was a good year and a half that she was champion. You know, does she still have that fire? Is she still dangerous? Is she still lethal? Is she still somewhat unpredictable? You know, Becky Lynch wants her SmackDown Women's Championship back because she never lost it. You know, Asuka grabbed it from the top of the, ascended the top of the ladder and pulled it down, you know, thanks to interference from Ronda Rousey. So they both have something to prove. Becky wants the belt back. Asuka needs to redeem herself. She wants vindication, retribution, whatever you want to call it. So in the end, I mean, the thing I would love to see is a Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch title for title match, a title unification match, and there's one undisputed women's champion. But ultimately, you have to think about, okay, so if Becky does regain the title and Ronda retains her title, what happens to the winner of the, you know, Women's Royal Rumble match? So with that said, I pick Asuka to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm not going to be shocked if Becky regains the title, but I'll be surprised. I'll put it to you that way. But I'm predicting Asuka will retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now that takes us to the Women's Royal Rumble match. So I have right here with me the list of participants in the Women's Royal Rumble match. So this is the list on WWE.com. So far announced have been, Natalya, Bayley, Ember Moon, Lacey Evans, who announced her candidacy on Monday night, Alexa Bliss, who announced her candidacy on Monday night, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan of the Riott Squad, Mickie James, Alicia Fox, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega, Charlotte, Naomi, Tamina, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Dana Brooke, Lana, Nia Jax, Nikki Cross, and of course number 30 herself, Carmella, who of course won the women's the right to be number 30 in the Women's Royal Rumble by winning the Mixed Match Challenge with R-Truth. So he, of course, will be number 30 in his respective Royal Rumble match. Now, a lot of us are predicting Becky's going to find a way to sneak into the Women's Royal Rumble match, and it'll come down to her and Charlotte. And I really don't want Charlotte in the main event of WrestleMania 35. I love Charlotte, but it really needs to be Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania because of how this has been built. For me, what needs to happen with Charlotte and Ronda is they need to fight at either Elimination Chamber or Fastlane in like a no-holds-barred match or something. And Charlotte and Ronda needs to beat Charlotte, and then Becky needs to win the Rumble. So, you know, my heart's saying Becky, but my head is saying Charlotte, just so they can throw Charlotte into the potential Ronda and Becky main event. But just keep Charlotte out of it. You know, like if they want Charlotte in a women's title match at Mania, have her an Asuka rematch and have Asuka beat her. Like have a lot more stake. You know, have a lot more at stake for a Charlotte Asuka rematch. And if they don't want to do Charlotte versus Asuka for SmackDown Women's Championship, then have Charlotte go to Raw and feud with either Bayley, Ember Moon, or Sasha Banks, you know, culminating in a big WrestleMania match. Charlotte doesn't have to be in a title match. So before I get to my prediction, in terms of like surprise entrants who I could see being in this match, Kairi Sane was in it last year, so I could see her being a surprise entrant. Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, because I predicted Bianca's going to lose to Shayna tonight at TakeOver Phoenix. I could see Mia Yim being in it, Candice LeRae, possibly Toni Storm, the NXT UK Women's Champion, possibly Rhea Ripley. Lita might make a surprise entrance. Trish Stratus, You know, I was just watching her in the 2012 Rumble yesterday. Karma, you know, Awesome Kong, she might make a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble match. Victoria, that's kind of like a long shot, but Victoria might be a surprise entry in the Royal Rumble match. I mean, I've seen a guy with a fan sign that says Victoria for Hall of Fame, please. So that would be really cool if she came back. Other surprise entrants, I was gonna say Lacey Evans until she threw her name in the hat for the Women's Rumble, which I'm totally fine with Lacey Evans being in the match. Is Tamina in this match? Yeah. I'm sorry. I know I read the list, but I totally forgot she was in this match because she's so irrelevant right now. I'm sorry. I'd love to see Paige in this match, but she can't wrestle, of course, with her being retired and her neck injury and whatnot. Who else could I see as a surprise entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match? You know, I would like to see Meiko Satomura be in the Women's Royal Rumble match tomorrow. That would be really cool. Because I was really impressed with her run in the Mae Young Classic this past year. So I can see Meiko being a surprise. And I'm just trying to think of who could be other surprise entrants in the match real quick before I make my prediction. Maybe Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir from the Four Horsewomen of MMA. I could see it. I could see them maybe making a surprise entrance in the match. Who else? I did say Mia Yim. Yeah, I think that's about it in terms of surprise entrance. I mean, I could say people like Molly Holly, Beth Phoenix, Vicky Guerrero, who were all in the match last year. I don't remember. Alundra Blaze wasn't in the match, was she? Alundra Blaze would be cool if she was in the match only for even if it was just 5 minutes. I think that'd be cool. I just saw one of Lauren's comments. Melina, yeah, Melina would be cool to see in the Royal Rumble match. I know she was talking about mixing it up with Naomi one day in a dream match. That'd be cool. All right, so anyway, in terms of my prediction for the Women's Royal Rumble match, I'm predicting, like I said, my heart is saying Becky, but my head is saying Charlotte. But I really don't want Charlotte in the main event of WrestleMania 35. She does not need to be inserted into this Ronda and Becky feud. Like, have Charlotte and Ronda have a match at either Fastlane or Elimination Chamber. Have it be a no-holds-barred match where Ronda gets revenge on Charlotte and then do the big... Because Becky doesn't like Charlotte, storyline-wise. Becky doesn't like Ronnie. So, yeah, it should really just be Becky versus... You know what? Little fantasy booking here. How about this? Becky wins the Rumble, right? But Charlotte desperately wants another crack at Ronda Rousey and wants to be in the women's, wants to be in the main event of WrestleMania 35. Desperately wants to be in the main event because she believes she should be in the main event. So what if at either Fastlane or Elimination Chamber, they do Becky Lynch versus Charlotte? Winner goes on to face Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 35. Loser leaves town. And then Charlotte loses and has to go away for a little while. And that's how we get Becky versus Ronda for the title at Mania. That's the best way to do it. You know, Charlotte so badly wants to be in the title match. Like, have it like that with some big stakes, you know. So even though my heart says Becky and my head says Charlotte, I'm predicting Becky Lynch will win the Women's Royal Rumble match. One way or another, she's getting into the Women's Royal Rumble match, and she'll win it. And I do not want to see a 1994 repeat. God, do not do that, okay? Do not have Charlotte and Becky be the co-winners of the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble match. That will just hurt that match. You know, WWE relies too much on the past to try and create, must-see content for the future, and that's gonna hurt them big time. No 1994 repeat. Okay, either have Becky win or Charlotte win, but do not have either of them go over the top rope at the same time and be declared co-winners. I personally want Becky to win, but one winner, not two winners, okay? So my prediction, Becky Lynch, one way or another, to win the Women's Royal Rumble match. Next up, we have the Universal Championship match. Brock Lesnar defending against... Wait a minute. Give me 1 minute, guys, actually. Before I do this prediction, I want to see if I can do this. I want to see if I can do something special for this. Just give me 1 minute. Let me see. Let me see. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry for that awkward silence, guys. What I was trying to do was I was trying to find a clip of Brock Lesnar being introduced by Paul Heyman as the reigning, defending, you know the drill. Couldn't find a good one, though. So anyway, Universal Championship match. Brock Lesnar defending against Finn Bálor. First off, thank you, WWE, for making this Brock versus Finn and not Brock versus Braun again, because I'm tired of seeing those two wrestle. I'm tired. You're never going to give Braun the title. You're never going to give him the win off of Brock. So yeah, thank you for making this a more intriguing Universal Championship match, because before it was Brock versus Bálor, I did not care for Brock versus Braun because I knew Braun was not going to win. Okay, so I'm happy Braun Strowman is out of the match and it's Brock Lesnar versus Finn Bálor. With that said, again, this is a case of my heart says one thing, my head says another. I would love for Brock Lesnar to drop the Universal title to Finn Bálor, because Brock doesn't need the title. Let's be real. Brock has been the worst Universal Champion, all right? He only shows up for certain pay-per-views. He never shows up on Raw unless they really need him to boost ratings. Brock, I just don't like Brock as Universal Champion. You know, when he first won the title off Cena at SummerSlam 2014, and I was there in person for that event in LA, I loved it. And it was so interesting seeing Brock not always defend the championship. You know, he defended it at Night of Champions. He defended it at Royal Rumble 2015. Then he defended it at WrestleMania against Roman, you know. So it was interesting to see him as a part-time champion. But now it's a pain. It's such a hassle and inconvenience to see him as part-time Universal Champion because he never shows up. Like, he has no motivation to show up, you know? And there are other guys who could really benefit from being the Universal Champion. And Bálor has been long overdue for a second run with the Universal Championship. And he's been long overdue for a Universal title match since he had to forfeit it, you know, the night after winning it at SummerSlam in 2016. And until recently, when he challenged Roman Reigns the night after SummerSlam, he was never in title contention. He may have been in #1 contenders matches like that Fatal 5-Way at Extreme Rules 2017, but WWE never, ever booked him to fight for the title until just recently. And that bothers Finn, and that came out in that little promo he cut against Vince, and the promo he just recently cut on Raw. You know, Bálor should have been one of the top stars on Raw, and he has not benefited at all from the booking he's received since he returned. They started off really great when he had a rocket push to the moon, beating Roman to fight Seth for the vacant Universal title and then be crowned the inaugural Universal Champion. But since returning from injury, and I don't know if they're afraid to give him a title shot because he gets injured, he hasn't done anything other than a lackluster feud with Bray Wyatt, a lackluster feud with Elias. He got beat by John Cena the night after Elimination Chamber, or I think it was in a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. Bálor up until now had not been receiving the proper booking he should have gotten. But I'm happy that he finally is getting a title shot. You know, he got one against Roman the night after SummerSlam. Now he's getting one against Brock. And, you know, Bálor said he doesn't need the Demon. He's not bringing out the Demon, which really, really sucks because I would love to see Demon versus Beast. Even if the Demon loses to Brock, I mean, the Demon is Bálor's, you know, ace in the hole, so to speak. It's his secret weapon. It's that weapon within. So, yeah, I heard Brock wanted to work with Bálor. And when Brock wants to work with somebody, you usually get a really good to great match. So that's what I'm excited for. That's why I'm excited for Brock versus Bálor tomorrow night at the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship. But, again, like I said, my heart says Finn, and I believe in Finn Bálor, but my head says Brock Lesnar. But what I'd like to see, you know, is Finn Bálor. If Finn Bálor wins the Universal Championship, okay, I'll say that for when I get to the Royal Rumble in a few seconds. But prediction, hearts with Finn, head says Brock, and prediction-wise, I gotta say Brock. I know I said heart says Becky, head says Charlotte, but I'm going with Becky because I think one way or another she's gonna win. But I'm praying it's not a double finish. You know, I'm praying it's not that. But in terms of the Universal Championship match, I'm picking Brock to retain the Universal Championship. Now I want to take a look real quick at the other comments Lauren sent me before I get to the 30-man Royal Rumble match. I could see Sasha turning heel and Bayley helping her. I don't know if Bayley would really turn heel. You know, I think Sasha desperately needs a heel turn, but I don't think Bayley needs to turn heel. Bayley needs to stay lovable as a face, and don't ever tell her she hopes someone goes to hell. Like that was wrong. I'm not against saying go to hell, but you don't have a character like Bayley say that. I'd love to see Kyrie, Sane, Trish, Lita, Melina, Tori, Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres in it. Yeah, they'd all make great surprise entrance. I agree. I love Charlotte, but WWE are pushing her too much. Can't we just get Becky versus Ronda one-on-one? My thoughts exactly. Did you hear Taker is rumored to headline the Hall of Fame? No, but if that's true, he deserves it. You know, I think Taker needs to retire and just go home healthy. You know, he doesn't need to wrestle anymore. What he did against John Cena at WrestleMania 34, I loved, but Taker doesn't need to wrestle anymore. So if Taker's going into the Hall of Fame this year, good for him. Well deserved. If Becky loses to Asuka, I still see her winning the Rumble, but Charlotte could win. Yeah, Becky and Charlotte are pretty much the two top picks to win the Rumble unless somebody from Raw, like Ember Moon, pulls an upset win, you know. Because I think Mike said something like Ember Moon could win and challenge Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship and get a rematch, you know, from their great feud in 2017 over the NXT Women's Championship, which I wouldn't be against. So Ember Moon could be a wild card in this match. So we'll have to wait and see. Do you think the Raw Women's title will main event WrestleMania 35? If it's Ronda versus Becky for the title, yes. But either way, the main event needs to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. I see Becky heading to Raw after Rumble, or could Ronda go to SmackDown Live? Well, I heard Fox Sports wants Ronda Rousey on SmackDown because of her popularity and whatnot, her marketability. So maybe in the shakeup, even though you said the brand split's probably going to be terminated, they could go to separate shows. So yeah. And then, do you think we'll get Roman in the men's Rumble? No. Roman Reigns will not compete until he's been cleared of his leukemia. So Lauren, not to be a buzzkiller, but don't get your hopes up high. I don't think we're seeing Roman at all this year. He can make appearances, but I don't see him wrestling until his leukemia has gone away. So best wishes to Roman Reigns, of course. Keep fighting that good fight, big dog. Joseph Anoa'i, give leukemia a big fat Superman punch for us. Now, Royal Rumble match. Men's Royal Rumble match. So far announced for this match are John Cena, who put an asterisk next to his name because, like Lauren said to me, this injury may just be an angle to take him out of the Royal Rumble match, which is stupid. Then why did you bring him back so early so he can announce his candidacy for the Royal Rumble? So John Cena with an asterisk next to his name. Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods in the New Day. Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Elias, Jinder Mahal, Jeff Hardy, Bobby Lashley, Titus O'Neil, Andrade, Cien Almas, Rey Mysterio Jr., Mustafa Ali, and aforementioned R-Truth, who earned the number 30 spot. Now, speaking of R-Truth, if the Women's Royal Rumble match happens first, then I predict he's going to come out at number 30 instead of Carmella. He's going to get the Rumble matches confused, and he's going to come out at number 30 like he did 3 years ago when he came out with a ladder in the Royal Rumble match thinking it was Money in the Bank. That's what's going to happen. If the Women's Royal Rumble match happens first, then R-Truth is going to come out as a joke thinking it's his Royal Rumble, but it's the Women's Royal Rumble, and he's going to be like, my bad, and go back to the ring. Go back to the locker room. Watch. That's only going to happen if the Women's Royal Rumble match happens first. Lauren asked me any surprises on Sunday. Now, in terms of surprise entrants for this match, I do expect some NXT and maybe even NXT UK talent to show up in this match. Particularly Velveteen Dream. I could see Roderick Strong or Kyle O'Reilly from Undisputed Era in this match. Maybe Johnny Gargano. I don't know about Ciampa. I do think Aleister Black will be in this match. So I predict Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black will definitely be in the 2019 Royal Rumble match. Maybe EC3. You know, Lars Sullivan up in the air because he's dealing with a lot of anxiety right now. Someone wanted to see Batista return in this year's Royal Rumble match. It could happen. Would be interesting to see. You know, Batista. I think Batista does deserve one more little run in WWE because the run he had in 2014. It was more with controversy because, of course, it wasn't his fault. They just brought him back at the wrong time when it was really about Daniel Bryan's moment. So I would love to see Batista in the Royal Rumble match. I don't want to see him win it, but I'd love to see him in it. And I know that just rhymed. I'd also love to see him go one-on-one with Samoa Joe in this match because Samoa Joe and Batista is a fantasy match of mine I've had for a little while now. Leo Rush. I'd like to see Leo Rush in the Royal Rumble match. Other cruiserweights like Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, I could see him in the Royal Rumble match. Ali's already in the match, but he's already been promoted to SmackDown Live on the main roster. So maybe Buddy Murphy. If maybe Buddy Murphy. because I do predict he's going to retain the title. So maybe Buddy Murphy will enter the Royal Rumble match. And then, like I said, I think some NXT UK talent will show up in this match. Maybe Jordan Devlin, maybe Tyler Bate, maybe Walter, which would be crazy because I know the guy just debuted at NXT UK TakeOver. Maybe Tyler Bate, maybe Trent Seven, maybe Zach Gibson. I'd like to see Jordan Devlin in the Rumble match. That'd be really cool. Now, the two top picks are obviously Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. They're both Raw guys. But I feel like there's a wild card from SmackDown that hasn't been given a lot of credit or hasn't been given who hasn't been given much of a chance to win it. And Lauren, you were asking me about this guy earlier. I think Jeff Hardy could be the wild card in this match. You know, nobody talks about, oh, what if Jeff Hardy wins the Royal Rumble match? I think he could really benefit from a Royal Rumble win because he would make, since I'm picking Daniel Bryan to win to retain the WWE Championship, I think that Jeff Hardy would be the perfect opponent for Daniel Bryan in the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 35 because their styles are so different. Their personalities are so different. I could see Daniel Bryan cutting some of the best promos of his life against Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, it's been nice having him back since he returned almost 2 years ago. Has he had the best return? No, but he's been doing some things, some good things. So a Jeff Hardy, Daniel Bryan title match at WrestleMania 35 would be insane. That's why I think Jeff Hardy is the wild card in this Royal Rumble match. I think Ember is the wild card for the women's match, and I think Jeff is the wild card for the men's match because everybody's picking, McIntyre or Rollins, but no one's really picking Jeff Hardy, And I would pick Samoa Joe, but are they really going to do him and Daniel Bryan? Like, are they going to turn? I think Joe does great work as a heel. He can be a great face too, but I think he does better work as a heel. So I'm picking. My pick will be, so before I get to my final pick, I'm saying, like, yeah, if I had to pick a SmackDown guy, I'd say Jeff Hardy would be the wild card to win it. If a SmackDown guy's going to win it, I'd pick Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy would be perfect. What a way for him to, because I don't know if this is his last year on the main roster. I don't know how much longer his contract has, but with his brother, retired due to injury, what better way for Hardy to make the Hardy legacy proud, cement it, than by winning the men's Royal Rumble match and going on to face Jeff Hardy facing Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. So that's why I have to say Jeff Hardy is the wild card in this match. But in terms of who I predict's going to win, my two picks are McIntyre and Rollins. But my overall pick is Seth Rollins. I think this is Seth Rollins' time to finally win the Royal Rumble match. I think it's finally time for him to win the Universal Championship and to main event WrestleMania. He should have really been the one to challenge. He really should have been the one to challenge Brock last year. I don't know really what they would have done Universal title-wise at 33 when Goldberg went in as champion, but last year should have been Seth and Brock for the championship because Brock and Seth never had a full-length legit match where Seth was really bringing the fight to Brock. They had the match at Battleground 2015 where Brock just dominated Seth until Undertaker came in and, kicked Lesnar in the nuts. So we're overdue for a full-length Seth Rollins Brock Lesnar match. And Seth had an amazing 2018. He was my pick for WWE Wrestler of the Year. He had an amazing 2018 with the performances he was giving. And I think this is finally time for Seth Rollins to get that main event spot at WrestleMania. So my pick is Seth Rollins will lose. Hell no, he will not lose. My pick is Seth Rollins will win the 2019 Royal Rumble match. If Drew McIntyre wins, I'm totally fine with that because I would love to see McIntyre and Brock for the title, and I would love to see McIntyre knock Brock's head off with a Claymore kick and win the championship. But I think we're going to finally get Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, and this will be vindication for Seth Rollins because he was so emotional and so bummed that he couldn't compete at WrestleMania 32. when he was unfortunately injured, when he injured his knee. So this is a long road he's been on to get back to WrestleMania, even though he competed at 33 against Triple H, and last year, of course, in the triple threat with Miz and Bálor for the Intercontinental Championship. But it's a long road to get to the main event of WrestleMania 35. So I'm predicting, in terms of the Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble match, Rusev. I'm looking at the match card right now. Seth Rollins will win the Royal Rumble match. Now, real quick before I go over my predictions, once again, I want to check the live chat and see what else Lauren has. Okay. So last set of comments from Lauren before I sign off. Let's see what she has. Excuse me, my allergies again. Do you see Ronda turning heel? Maybe. She's still a fan favorite, but the fans did turn her heel when she cost Becky the SmackDown Women's title at TLC. So maybe Ronda will turn heel. Imagine if we see Finn versus Rollins, Finn versus Orton, Finn versus Bryan, and Finn versus Styles. Yeah, we definitely need Finn versus Bryan. We definitely need Finn versus AJ round 2. I want to see Finn versus Orton. And Finn versus Rollins, I didn't say this, but if Finn was to win the Universal title and then Rollins will win the Rumble match, you could do Finn versus Rollins at Mania for the Universal title in the main event. And then you could turn Finn heel, because Finn has always, come up short against Seth Rollins recently. Rollins inadvertently injured him at SummerSlam with the buckle bomb. Seth won the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. He beat Bálor in a match for the Intercontinental Championship when he defended it, when he was having that open challenge. He beat Finn in the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship at the Greatest Royal Rumble that also had Samoa Joe and The Miz. So imagine Finn Bálor turns to that dark side with his demon and does whatever he has to do to beat Seth Rollins, to avenge every time that Seth Rollins has gotten his number and screwed him out of opportunity after opportunity. That's great storytelling right there. I'd love to see that. So, there's a chance Finn could win the title and Seth could still win the Royal Rumble, and we do Finn versus Seth. I would love to see Finn versus Seth in the main event of WrestleMania, with Finn turning heel at the end of it. Maybe reuniting the club, who knows? Any turns at the Rumble? I'm not sure. I really didn't stop and think about it, so I'm going to say I'm not sure. Do you think we'll get Batista versus Triple H? Who knows? Is Triple H face again? I'll just say Triple H is a tweener, because most of the time you see him on NXT doing his thing. So, yeah. Imagine HBK in the Rumble. Yeah, that would be nice, but he's bald. He shaved his head. I don't know why. Fans turned Batista heel in 2014. Batista versus Lesnar needs to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but, you have to really make me want to see it. Announced team for the men's Rumble are Lawler, Cole, and Saxon, I believe. Okay. Jericho possibly. No, because he's with AEW now, and I honestly don't think WWE is going to let him be in the Rumble. If he is, I'll be surprised and shocked, but I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble match. Wyatt and Matt Hardy. No, I don't think they'll be in the Rumble match. Strowman. Maybe. I just really don't want Strowman to screw Braun. I mean, thank God the Universal title match is not Braun versus Bálor versus Brock. And I really pray that Strowman, out of his bitchiness, because he got the match taken away from him, I pray Strowman doesn't get involved in that match. If Strowman's in the Rumble match, great, but do not have him get involved in the Universal title match. Please do not have that happen. I would hate for that to happen. And I pray to God they don't change it into a triple threat at the last minute. Like, oh, Lord. Will Seth last as a face? He's great as a face. Keep him as a face. He's great as a heel, too, but keep him as a face. The fans love him. Seth in the Rumble. I remember the rumor she was supposed to be in the Rumble last year, so I don't know. I can see Ambrose attacking Rollins if he wins the Rumble, and we can see Brock versus Ambrose versus Brock versus Ambrose. You mean Brock versus... Hold on. Brock versus Ambrose versus... she meant Brock. I'm assuming Brock versus Seth versus Ambrose because she wrote Brock, then versus, then Ambrose, then versus, then Lesnar. So, I don't want to see Brock versus Ambrose versus Rollins. I want to see Brock versus Rollins if that's going to happen. Will Lesnar be an Elimination Chamber? I don't think so. I think he's only going to defend the title at Mania if he's still the Universal Champion. Did you hear the Women's Chamber will be different this year? No. How's exactly gonna be different? Like, I know it's the tag team. The women's tag team titles will be decided, but how's it gonna be different, Lauren? If you're still there, because I know you said you have to go. Please tell me how it's gonna be different. And she said, great predictions. I'll go make more predictions later on. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for joining me this whole near 60 minutes. Hey, look at that, 60 minutes. I'm the Iron Man of the live stream. 60 minutes, the length of the Rumble match. So, yeah, thanks, Lauren. I love you. Appreciate all your support and whatnot. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here unless I get any more questions or comments. So, to recap my predictions for this year's Royal Rumble event, for the kickoff show, I have Rusev retaining the United States Championship, Buddy Murphy retaining the Cruiserweight Championship. And on the main card, I have the Bar retaining the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the new Daniel Bryan retaining the WWE Championship, Ronda Rousey and Asuka retaining their respective women's championships, Becky Lynch, one way or another, winning the Women's Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar retaining the Universal Championship, and Seth Rollins to win the Men's Royal Rumble match. So thanks, you guys, for watching and listening, and special thanks to Lauren Hutton for joining me this whole time, for being with me nearly 60 minutes. We went the distance together. I'm the Iron Man, she's the Iron Woman. And guys, as always, thanks for watching and listening. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what your predictions are for the Royal Rumble match. Do you see a surprise entrant in either men or women's match that I didn't come up with? Do you have a unique surprise entrant of your own? Let me know down in the comments. And enjoy NXT TakeOver Phoenix tonight. Enjoy Royal Rumble tomorrow night. Have a nice rest of your weekend, guys. I'll catch you all later. This is Rob1 Kenobi signing off. Yeah, thanks for watching and listening, guys. I'm sorry. Have a nice weekend. Keep supporting my channel. And, of course, if you want to see me in WWE, you know what hashtag to get trending. And I'll write in the live chat. Please sign Robbie. Thanks, guys, for watching and listening. Have a nice day. Rob1 Kenobi signing out.